Hello everyone, it's Chantel from Crochet and welcome to this tutorial on how to crochet a spooky skull. If you would like the PDF version of this pattern, please check out the description for more details. So the materials that you'll need include some scissors, a 4mm crochet hook, a stitch marker, I use a bobby pin, as well as a darning needle. You will also need some white super bulky yarn, some polyfill stuffing, as well as 24mm safety eyes. And please pause to read the terminology and abbreviations. So to start, we are going to create a magic ring, and then for row 1, we are just going to work 8 single crochets into the magic ring. So you should have a total of 8 stitches by the end of the row. As you can see, I like to close off my magic rings before working single crochets into them. I find this helps prevent the yarn from snapping. This is what your work should look like. And then getting onto row 2, we are going to increase to 16 stitches around. And to do that, you will do an increase in every stitch. So that is a total of 8 increases. And then for row 3, we are just going to do a single crochet and then an increase for a total of 8 times. And by the end of the row, you should have a total of 24 stitches. And then this is going to be our last row of increasing, row 4. We are going to be increasing to 32 stitches around, and to do that we are going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase for a total of 8 times. And then for the next 7 rows, rows 5 to 11, we are just going to single crochet around. So that is a total of 32 stitches per row for a total of 7 rows. And this is what it should look like once you have completed the 7 rows. Now we are going to get started on row 12, where we will be decreasing to 24 stitches around. And to do that, you are going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease for a total of 8 times. And this is what your work should look like so far. And then getting on to row 13, we are going to decrease to 16 stitches around. And to do that, we are going to do a single crochet and then a decrease for a total of 8 times. And this is what your work should look like. And then for row 14, we are going to be working in the front loop only. And for this row, we are just going to do 16 single crochets around. So at the end of the row, you should have a total of 16 stitches. And then for rows 15 to 16, we are just going to single crochet around, so that is a total of 2 rows with 16 stitches in each row. As you can see, I have just inserted the eyes between rows 10 and 11, 5 visible stitches apart, and I have finished up rows 15 to 16. We are now going to start stuffing the skull. Now that we have finished stuffing the skull, we are going to get started on row 17, where we will do our last row of straight single crochet. So you will be doing a total of 16 single crochets around. By the end of the row, you should have a total of 16 stitches. Just finish up stuffing. And then getting started on row 18, our last row, we are going to do 8 decreases around. By the end of the row, you should have a total of 8 stitches. Then we are just going to slip stitch into the next stitch to fasten off, cut a tail, and then we are going to sew the opening closed. I like to weave the yarn through the front loops only of the remaining 8 stitches, and then I pull the yarn tight to close the opening, and I sew a knot and then weave in my end. And this is what your skull should look like. We are now going to get started on the mouth details. And for this, we are going to create a horizontal line across 5 stitches between rows 15 and 16. And then across rows 15 to 16, we're just going to create some vertical lines to portray the teeth. Then once you have finished that, you're just going to cut your yarn, tie a knot, and then weave in your ends. For my finished skull, I ended up using 5 vertical lines because I liked the look of that more than 3. But you may choose to do however many you'd like. And this is what your finished skull should look like. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content such as this. I have also released a bone pattern and a spooky eyeball pattern. In case you are interested in those, I will link them on the screen. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.